In previous lectures, we have completed the following functions. Now in this one, we'll be taking a look at get candidate profile and save candidate jobs. So yesterday, when we were doing save candidates, we were basically saving all the profile information of a given candidate. And now, using the get candidate profile method, we'll be retrieving that information. So here, if I go to integration, you'll notice that its trigger is HTTP, and then we have this Azure Cosmos DB. Now the trigger is get trigger, and that's the reason why we have named the functions as well, so that we can know. So get means the get HTTP method, and here if I go to Azure Cosmos DB input document, you'll notice the database name will be apply DB, collection name is applicants, and this is the connection string. Input document is the name of the parameter over here, and then we have this query which says select all from C, where c.email is equal to email. So when we go to candidate profile, we are basically saying for this email ID, give me the data that you have. Now, if I go to my code over here, it will be pretty easy. So as you can see over here, all we are doing is using JSON web token, authorizing the user, and if the email ID is valid, we are simply returning the input document because the input document already has all the information. And once we get that, we show it to the user. For instance, over here you can see that the profile details are shown for a logged in candidate. Here I have logged in as myself, so clicking on this will give me the profile information that I have over here. So here, that is what this function is doing. Now let's go to another method that we need to discuss, is the save candidate jobs. So clicking on this and then going to integration. So the basic idea is that you find a job over here and then you apply for it. So what it does is, again, if I take you to the Azure Cosmos DB, you'll find that it's saving the data in candidate jobs. And here we have select all from C, where c.email is equal to email. And if you just take a look at this whole thing, we are basically writing a bit long SQL query. So I'll be showing it to you. So this is what we have written. Select all from C, where c.email is the email and c.job ID is equal to this job ID. So if this job is already applied, we will not be applying it again. And that's what we are doing over here. So let's close this now. And that's the query we have over here. Going back to our code plus test tab, and here we are using the Cosmos client. And finally, inside the candidate jobs selection, we are preparing this item body where we have the email ID, the job ID to which we are applying, and here you can see that we can search for a given job and then click on the apply now button to apply for it. So here, that's what we are doing: email, job ID, availability, employer message, and create it on. So if I go ahead and click on this apply button, you'll see that these are the two parameters that we need to specify, like are you available during following days, times, part-time job for freelancers, yes, no, and if you want to send some message to the employer, you can mention it over here. That's what we are storing in our candidate jobs along with the job ID and email. And finally, once that's done, we are going to our database, going to this collection name, which is candidate jobs, and then inserting this object that we have created. And once that's done, we are simply saying application saved successfully. So that was save candidate jobs. We have now completed get candidate profile and save candidate jobs.